My name is Andrea Gelman, and I come from Parkland, Florida. I have been a resident of Parkland for almost 20 years, and my daughter, Haley, currently attends MSD, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. When my now ex-husband and I were looking for a place to raise our family, we chose Parkland. I believe it to be a great community. It's small, safe, with great schools. I wanted my children to grow up as I did, in a neighborhood that gives you the feeling of being at home. A place where you know and grow up with the same kids that you meet in kindergarten. A place where the people in Publix know you by name. As I went through my divorce, my biggest dilemma as a new single mom was the fear of the need to move my children from the only place they've ever known. The decision to stay was easy, but the financial struggle is one that continues to this day. My goal as a mom is to keep my children safe and loved by their neighbors, friends, and teachers. As a teacher myself, my motto has always been, it takes a village. On February 14, 2018, our small, cozy world in Parkland was changed forever. Parkland, a city that has been recently voted the safest place in Florida to live. A place where people would say, you live where? Is now a city known to the nation. It started as a day of love and appreciation, balloons, flowers, and candy that had suddenly turned into the most horrific day of terror I have ever lived through. I will never forget it. It was 2:35 p.m. and I was sitting in a team meeting, anxiously waiting to leave school to celebrate Valentine's Day with my girls, when I received a text message from Haley. A video, actually, telling me to listen to it. My immediate response was to tell her I was in a meeting and I would listen in a bit, but somehow I knew this to be different. See, Haley hardly texts me. She doesn't return my texts. She is 16 after all. So I walked to the hallway, listened to the message, and froze. It was a video of the floor of a classroom with the sounds of gunshots in the background. Now, I'm no expert, but I have shot a few guns, and there was no mistaking this sound, and it was close. Haley was frantic, wondering if this was a drill, and I remember instantly running all the possible scenarios in my head. I knew there was no way there would be a drill with gunfire and students in the building. However, what do you tell your 16-year-old child who is sitting in school with bullets flying? At first, I told her it must be a drill because I wanted her to stay calm. Yet at the same time, I wanted her to know she needed to be smart and to stay safe, or as safe as she could be. See, the elementary school where I taught, just had an active shooter drill, which Haley and I actually discussed at length. Now through text, I reminded her of our conversation and told her to hide and make sure no one let anyone in her classroom. I ran to the school office and played the video for our resource officer. The entire office staff stood there in disbelief as we could all identify the gunfire, but at the same time, we could not believe this was happening in our small, safe, beautiful community. I remember grabbing my 6-year-old Lisa and driving as fast as I could towards the high school. I remember texting Haley frantically, instructing her that no matter what, she was to continue communicating with me. On the way there, we saw police cars racing to the scene, ambulances heading in both directions with lights and sirens blazing, while streets have already been being blocked. Luckily, I knew this community and I was able to navigate to the school quickly. As we stood there outside the building, our narrow suburban roads filled with what looked like an army, the scene seemed surreal. People everywhere, on the phone, crying, yelling, some even collapsing on the street. Police and SWAT with their weapons draws, news crews, helicopters everywhere. We all just stood and stared at this building in horror, waiting to see if our children would come out alive. It seemed like days had passed, but I was one of the lucky ones, and Haley did run out of that building. Although she seemed so calm in text messages, when she saw her dad, her sister, and me, she just collapsed in our arms. From that moment, this typical teen with an answer for everything was a completely different person. She became extremely calm, almost too calm, like zoned out, although she wanted to talk and retell the horror of the story that she just saw and heard. Within hours, Fox News contacted her from a post she posted on Instagram and she ended up doing a live interview with Tucker Carlson that night. There she is, sitting at our kitchen table on the national news, with a blank stare telling what seemed to be a fictional account from a book. People we did not even know, strangers, commented that they did not believe she was there due to her lack of emotion. Haley did not want to be alone. She could not sleep, and she could not eat. She was just different. The toughest part for me, as her mom, was going into her room in the morning to wake her, to take her to school with me, knowing she had probably just fallen asleep. See, now, she always faced the door and would jump with the slightest touch of my hand. What hurt me the most was the look on her face, the terror in her eyes, the tears upon awakening. It is something I can never forget. As a parent, we never want to see our children in pain. I just felt helpless. Again, we live in a great community, one with lots of love and support. After the shooting, support poured in from all over the country. It was completely overwhelming. Our students appeared on the news, created March for Our Lives, were invited to the Ellen Show, the Tonys. It was truly amazing. But by this time, Haley was really having a rough time. She had stopped talking, and she could not return to school. She would get halfway down the block and melt, phoning me hysterically. She could just not get past what had happened. I'm not sure how anyone could, but it was my job to get her help. We tried everything. Therapy, EMDR, yoga, scented oils, an apple wash to help her breathe. We even got her a new bed. Nothing was working. Haley, she wanted a dog. She wanted a dog that would love her and protect her and keep her safe. She would see MSD and the community started using support dogs in the school at events of healing. Dogs were everywhere. In the beginning, it was the only thing Haley could or would connect to, and she wanted one of her own. I tried to explain to Haley that support dogs are created. One does just not go out and get a support dog. I explained to her that one gets a puppy, and I was not getting a puppy, and they trained it to become a support dog. But if you have a 16-year-old, you would know their job is always to prove you wrong. So Haley and her older sister, Alana, were now on a mission. They searched the web, stumbled upon the Guardian Angels medical support dogs, and sent me the application. I thought there was no harm in applying. I would have done anything to make Haley feel better. At the very worst, their reply would be no, and I could show Haley that I tried, but I was right. A few days later, after our application, I received a reply. It was a very nice reply, explaining that the organization mostly worked with veterans. Although civilians can apply, the wait list could be somewhere between 3 to 5 years or so. Haley did not have 3 to 5 years or so. Haley needed to function now. So we continued attending healing sessions and therapy in the community. There we were. Haley would only go to events only if dogs were going to be present. There we were, at our next event. Haley was on the floor with the dogs, and I was listening to this woman, who I now know as Carol, talking about service dogs. I remember she had me with every word, and I found out that I was actually listening to her. I was amazed to learn how much service dogs could do for someone, especially one like Haley, that we talked about Carol our whole way home. Carol explained how service dogs could smell a tablespoon of sugar in a pool. They could sense a person's anxiety before it starts. Veterans would be paired with a dog and they would have their first night's sleep in ages. She said they had never had a divorce. Slowly, I realized that Carol was from the same organization that I had contacted a few weeks ago. A few days later, I received a call from Miranda explaining that someone had donated a dog for an MSD student, and she wanted us to reapply. Of course, we did so immediately. The process is not easy. It took time, and I kept reminding Haley that our chances were not great. I did not want her to have high hopes to then be turned down again. She had already been through so much. We completed our application, and we waited what seemed like forever. At the beginning of June, Miranda called us to inform us that pairing would occur in 3 weeks, and they were making arrangements for our stay. I remember talking to her with tears pouring down my cheeks as Haley was screaming in the background, "Did we get one? What's its name? Is it a boy or is it a girl?" Miranda just laughed, wished me luck with Haley for the next 3 weeks, and said she'll see us soon. I hung up in amazement. Can this really be happening? On the morning of our pairing, Haley, Lisa, and I were all up at dawn. We are not morning people, but we were ready to go. I drove under the speed limit because we were warned not to be early. Driving up to the farm was absolutely beautiful. As we drove up, a friendly face greeted us, and I instantly got that at-home feeling, the feeling I sought for my children their entire lives. The anticipation of meeting a dog that was trained just for Haley, a dog that could help change her life, was coming closer. Within a few hours, Haley was sitting in a chair waiting to meet her new companion. When Spree and Kelly appeared around the bend, the connection was instantaneous. I remember thinking to myself, is it possible that Spree knew Haley prior to even meeting her? The smile that returned to my daughter's face was undeniable and noticed by all that knew her. Her sadness lifted before my eyes, her anxiety beginning to heal. That day, Haley became Haley again. The daughter I know and the daughter I love, the daughter that can conquer the world. Spree gave her that security she needed and restored the safety that was stolen from her at such a tender age. Spree has given her the ability to be alone again and not be afraid. She's allowing her to become a teenager again. Amazingly, Spree took Haley back to school this year, along with the support of many of our fellow guardian angels. Fellow recipients heard Haley was in need of support, so they arranged to walk with her and Spree on the first day, an accomplishment I thought would never happen. They drove for miles to encourage, support, and show their love. We have also learned that when we got Spree, we became part of a family that is there for you in good times and in bad. A community of people, each with his own story of pain, but has now been touched by the guardian angels. Each has been given what we call their new normal, another chance at life. A chance that could not have been accomplished the same way without their canine super friend. Spree is our super friend. She's our angel. It is amazing, but Spree does not only help Haley, although I laugh because she is the only person she will listen to, but she actually helps our entire school. She helps our entire family. She actually helps the entire school. The principal, Mr. Thompson, often visits Haley's classroom just for a quick hug from Spree. Her sheer presence lightens up any room. She is quiet, but has an enormous presence and a sense of calm that can make anyone smile. I am honored to say that the guardian angels have become a family, an extended family that looks after one another no matter how far or near. We know how lucky we have been chosen. I am forever indebted to the entire staff, organization, Al and Judy Dunlap for helping me save my daughter when I could not. The outpouring of support and generosity of the guardian angels and Mr. and Mrs. Dunlap has restored my faith in humanity and has shown me what it means to help other people without thinking of themselves. It definitely does take a village. Who would have ever